I'd like to welcome to the stage
King Andile Mama.
to everybody in the house. Give a warm round of applause for
King Andile Mama.
And he captures the moment.
King Andile Mama.
Man, it is extraordinary.
Ngabomzi Peter is with us, who's a DP World Lions leg spinner there with Themba Bavuma. So you're this kid that's bowling in the nets to the Proteas, helping them out before the West Indies. You have a conversation with Themba and he says to you, would you be interested to move to Joburg?
He literally told me to send him a DM.
See guys, I always say send me a DM over Instagram and you're like, nah. Here he is, he sent a DM. When you think of Themba Bavuma now, what do you think of him?
He's almost become like an older brother to me.
I've got him on the line. We're going to cross to Romania and speak to FSCB defender. Sia,
my brother.
accent inyana.
Next.
It is your first title ever, isn't it?
Yes, it's my first time.
I'm sure it's
Not too much, it's just there.
but it's a huge improvement from here at home.
Yes, kakhulu.
Kakhulu, Sia! Let's go to Linda Lamoya. Stellies versus Sundowns.
In only one game this season, the Sundowns been behind, and that was a game against Stellenbosch.
That is a crazy stat to me.
Yeah, I'm thinking about
That is a crazy stat to me. So Sundowns have been behind once this season.
20 minutes, Andile, between the 14th and the 34th minute.
What? The best place in which Stellenbosch has competed with Sundowns, they led them for 20 minutes. That's the best stat.
And they lost.
No, they went on to lose.
Sports Night Amplified with Ndile on Metro FM. Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Game over.
It's about to go 9 after the hour 6 on the Mighty Metro FM. It's Sports That Amplified with Andile on the Mighty Metro. Welcome to it. Thibaut Touch, he's still in Miami, making his way back to South Africa soon. Get well, Lute Love. She wasn't well yesterday. Remember I said, I could see she wasn't well yesterday. The flu that's going around has found its way into her system. Hope her and the two little pumpkins are safe. Yesterday, what a day it was, huh? Was supposed to have spoken to coach at Chippa United, Kwanele Kopo. He didn't show up, gave us Thabo September to speak to, and we had that conversation. But there's been a lot of reports from the conversation we had yesterday, and we appreciate you taking what you hear on the show, and that's the format of it. It's for you to spread the love, and for those that might have missed it. But make sure that before you send us tweets, myself and Mazola in particular, just go listen to the podcast. It's available on metrofm.co.za. You can go to YouTube as well and on TikTok, Andile Ngube, Sports Night Amplified with Andile. It's there. have a listen to context of most things. Because when you hear the tail end of things, the butt of things, it doesn't work out well. So go listen to the entire conversation and then come back and let's engage on it. Right or wrong, you know we have those conversations here. Different opinions or not, you know we have those conversations. We don't shy away from them here. And another conversation we're not going to shy away from is the one we're going to be having tonight with Bradley Grobler, SuperSport United striker, a man with over 100 goals, chasing two people and only two people in the history of the DStv Premiership. He'll be joining us as Bradley Grobler after they draw last night with Kukuna United. So we'll have conversations about the season that's been with him. But also Champions League football when we come back. PSG knocked out. Will they ever win it? Was the words of commentator last night at the end of it all, as Kylian Mbappe walks away from the club he's given so much to without having achieved the one thing they needed and wanted to achieve. We'll look at tonight's game as well. Two of the giants who are tipped to win. This is the final before the final, isn't it? We said that about Man City as well, but this is it. Harry Kane in good form, but this Real Madrid team, what the Brazilian boys I like to call them, there's a lot to talk about as far as that is concerned. And then we'll take your calls on 086-000-2160. WhatsApp on 060-552-7303. Also, we didn't get to talk to you much yesterday. You know, we took the voice notes that we could, but you didn't get to have a proper reflection of the conversations we had yesterday. So today, we're going to open the lines a little bit early so we can have those conversations, so that we can have those engagements. This is Sports That Amplified with Andile.
Let the good times roll. Turn it up. It's Metro FM, the biggest commercial radio station in the land. We won't stop. Keep it locked in Zanzi's favorite radio station. Non-stop entertainment with nothing but the best. Let's go. We are the heartbeat of the nation. Metro FM. It's where you want to be.
Last night's results in the Champions League, Paris Saint-Germain could not see themselves past Borussia Dortmund. 2-0 on aggregate is how it ended. Hummels scoring in the 50th minute, and it was a goal that they wouldn't be able to have a response to, despite Kylian Mbappe and many more hitting the crossbar. It was just not their day. 50th minute goal was the difference.
To be honest, it's hard to put in words. It's the best thing to do in football, the best thing to achieve to reach the Champions League final in club football. It's the fourth time, and I think in the history of Borussia Dortmund, it's my second time. It's something so very special to achieve, and that's what you work for. To be honest, that's what you work for every day. So it was, of course, a great moment for us, a great moment for me. I don't score that many goals, especially in the Champions League. So it was just the fifth one in my whole career, I guess. So yeah, I'm really happy. That was an important one.
That was the goal scorer, Matt Hummel, there on reaching the UEFA Champions League final and scoring the goal that made the difference. Thomas Tuchel says he's eyeing the UEFA Champions League final.
I'm competitive. I want absolutely to win this match tomorrow with my team, and the reward comes after that, because then you take the next step. But let's be very clear, I mean, when you reach the round of 16, you play it to be in the quarterfinal. The quarterfinal, you don't play it to enjoy the quarterfinal, you play it to go to the semi-final. And also, like, we're not here to enjoy this, we are here to play Wembley. So this is the target for me and for the team.
Well, in order to do so, he's going to have to beat an inspired Carlo Ancelotti, who says he wants the final two. He's a man that is famous, of course, for clinching this. As you know, whenever he's in the final, Carlo Ancelotti is a favorite. Let's hear now from Carlo.
Yeah, I think that the final of the Champions League is the best game that where you want to be. I would like to be another time in a final and to be there.
Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich. It's kicking off at 9 o'clock South African time this evening for a place in the final. Remember, first leg 2-2 is how it ended. Now the game moves over to Madrid, where Bayern will try and upset them at home. We'll speak about that game tomorrow, of course. There is football in the DStv Premiership this evening, but firstly, let's reflect on the results from yesterday. Kaizer Chiefs and TS Galaxy, 2-2 is how it ended. Chivaviro scoring 2 goals in the 18th and the 50th minute, and Mahlangu scoring a penalty in the 32nd, as well as a goal in the 76th minute to equal what Chiefs' effort had been. SuperSport United and Skukuni United also playing to a stalemate at 1-1. Bradley Grobler, the man we're going to be speaking to in a couple of minutes, scoring that goal there, or Hizu scoring 2 minutes later. In other matches, Cape Town City beating Moroka Swallows by 2-0. A huge result for Cape Town Spurs. Huge result. Beating Royal AM and dragging them closer to themselves by 1-0 there. Ernst would love to have a conversation, but whenever you get the time, Coach. SuperSport United and Skukuni, like I've said, 1-1. Let's wrap it up from yesterday and talk to you about today's matches. Kaizer Chiefs, having played and drawn yesterday, means that in today's game, if Golden Arrows are able to beat Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs fall out of the top 8. If Chippa United are able to beat Orlando Pirates, because that's the other matchup at 7:30, once again, they fall out of the top 8, which is the same for Polokwane City versus Richards Bay, and then Stellenbosch play AmaZulu. So those games, very important to what happens in the top 8 at the moment. We'll be watching those games and we'll report back tomorrow. Let's take a break.
Sports Night Amplified with Andile on Metro FM.
We've got Chippa United on the line. On the phone that belongs to Coach Kwanele. Answering the phone is Coach Thabo September. Thabo, we promoted that we're going to be speaking to Coach Kwanele. Why are we talking to you and not Coach Kopo?
We are co-coaches, so I guess we share responsibilities.
So on the bench, you sit right next to each other, close.
Yes.
When he stands up to go fight, you are there with him.
Yes.
So when words are exchanged, you're hearing everything.
Yes.
Kwanele Kopo, your co-coach, he says he was racially abused.
No, he was not saying it was racially abused. Someone changed it to make it as if it's a racial abuse.
He said it, no one else, he said it.
Maybe someone wrote something wrong.
No.
I don't understand.
This is his words.
Some of us grew up in difficult political times, and you begin to ask yourself sometimes, am I being abused because I'm the color I am? It's bad for football.
Well, it was not a racial comment. Someone insulted us. There was no racial comment.
6 to 7 p.m.
Turn your Hollywood Bets gaming experience into a spectacular casino royal adventure. Bet up to 100 Rand or more on selected Hollywood Bets, plated slots, and live tables. And you could win one of 3 luxury trips for 2 to Las Vegas. Hollywood Bets, feel the magic.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bets supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Want to win a car with Spar? Swipe your Spar Rewards card when you buy any participating product and stand to win one of 50 fiery red Hyundai Grand i10 sedans. Competition ends 2 June. Get 2 kg Spar French Polony for just $49.99 or 8 kg Spar Wolf Dog Food, excluding puppy range, for only $149.99. Price is valid from 8 May to 21 May. T's and C's apply.
Nazo, and that's why we shop at Spar.
Every season is a fresh start. Fire up your wellness and join Virgin Active in May. You'll get 50% off fees over 3 months. Join on Premier with 25% off and gym at any club anytime for a year. Call 0860-GET-FIT or visit a club to get started. virginactive.co.za. T's and C's apply. Give your body the autumn it deserves.
Sports Night Amplified with Andile on Metro FM. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
Welcome back at Sports Amplified with Andile on the Mighty Metro FM. On the line now to have a conversation with us, a man that we've been trying to track down for so long, but he seems to be almost impossible. Bradley Grobler of SuperSport United. Bradley, welcome. Thank you.
Evening, Andile, and evening to you and all the listeners.
Listen, Bradley, I mean, I can't claim to have spoken to every player in the DStv Premiership. There's a lot of you guys, but I'm shocked and alarmed when a player of your caliber comes onto this show for the very first time. What's going on, Bud? Are we fighting?
No, not at all. Not at all. No, you'll all the people that know me, friends, the guys at the club. When it comes to a cell phone, me and a cell phone don't click.
Really?
No, I got 3 kids. I got a busy life, and when I'm home, my phone's down with the kids playing around, and then sometimes at night I'll get back to my phone. So
listen, I can't judge you because I've got 4, but perhaps the reason that we, not on our phones is the reason we have so many kids. Maybe we should pick up the phones, bud.
You know what? Time with family and kids, and fortunately, I'm in a position where I do a job which doesn't involve being on a cell phone either. So
yeah.
Nothing against you.
Speaking about family, how's the old man?
Yeah, he's good. He's got back involved at Highlands Park, and he's always been involved in football. So no, he's good, keeping well.
And does he still say, "Hey, Brad, man"? Does he still give advice? Do you guys still have the conversations like that? I mean, almost 16 years later, you're a senior now. Does he still look at you as little Brad?
I wouldn't say little Brad, but we definitely do have our chat, regarding games, and he'll still offer me advice anytime he can. So no, we have a great relationship when it comes to soccer. I'm that kind of guy as well when we've been on a bit of a difficult run at the club, and
yeah.
And that's normal. It happens in football, but he's learned to understand when to talk football and when not to talk football. Because I go through periods like now where as much as you want to listen and you want help, and that your mind is just so so not, I wouldn't say in the game, but sometimes you just don't want to talk football. So no, we have a great relationship, and he still helps me a lot, and he knows when to talk football and when not to.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love that for you. And pass our regards to the legend there.
I will do.
You speak about a tough season, and it's been exactly that. Congratulations on yet another goal last night. But that performance, that goal in the season that you guys have had, I wonder when you reflect and you look back, how you edge up this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really difficult. Obviously, myself, I'm a very ambitious player. I've always wanted to, compete and compete at the highest level. And, I think realistically, when it comes to the league at the moment, I don't think there's many teams that can say we want to win the league. But I've always, held high standards, and that's the same for the club, as well as, the coach. So it's been extremely frustrating, extremely difficult, especially when our performances haven't been that bad. But like I've said to a lot of the younger guys in the team, and at some stage in football, these things happen. You are going to go through times where things just don't fall for you and don't happen for you, and you just got to keep working hard and try and turn that. And last week that happened. Obviously, we got our first win for the year against Royal AM, and I managed to score. And last night we just let ourselves down completely. But that's football, and it happens. And with a club like ours with so many young players, this is how you learn, and this is how you grow as a player. So you got to take the good with the bad.
And I've spoken to Gavin a little bit about this as well. There's an influx of new players. It's always a chameleon, SuperSport United, because of how talented you guys are, or how talented the establishment is at finding young talent and grooming them. Then they leave, then you got to start all over again. And there's new young players now even. How much of that impacts every beginning of the season, having to start all over again, and maybe the results that we're seeing now?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It has a massive, massive impact. And I think that's something, being at a club like SuperSport, and I think in general, I mean, if we're being completely honest, I think our league is not where it should be. I think a lot of teams are possibly not in the same financial position they were 5-6 years ago post, COVID. And I think we've got to accept that it's a way of life within South African football at the moment, which in my opinion is sad. But I think our club, SuperSport, is a great club, and a club that has not been given enough credit for the amount of players we have produced over the years. I mean, if you go and look at the players we've produced, I'm not just talking about the guys at Sundowns, but elsewhere in that as well. The club's done extremely well, and sometimes for a great club like this to stay afloat, to keep going in the league. Unfortunately, these are things that need to happen, and it's reality, and it's happened for many years, and as frustrating as it can be, that's just the way it is, and I think for some guys it can be frustrating, but for me, I've been here for a long time. I've seen it happen season after season, but at the same time, if that's what keeps a club like that going and competing, as to where we can, that's what it takes.
I mean, when it comes to scoring goals, you're on par with middle table where you are, with the other teams of where you are. You scoring, you've hit double figures again. Congratulations once again. But then you look at SuperSport defensively, Brad. I think it's close to 30 games now that you guys are going without where you haven't conceded a goal. You concede a goal in every single game. You'd have to go back to last year, September, October. I think the last time you guys didn't concede a goal in that 3-0 victory. When you sit back now and, you've got the mastermind that is Kevin Hunt sitting there, you're seeing this. It's there to see. Even last night when you could have won 1-0, you managed to concede a goal. How do you guys reflect on that? What are the conversations in and around what you look like defensively?
Yeah, look, again, it's extremely frustrating. But at the same time, it's not that we don't have a lack of defenders. We've got some really, really good, experienced defenders. And, like I said, and the same goes for the coach. I mean, he's been known for many years for his defending and keeping clean sheets, and, he's done extremely well on that. And again, like I said, I think sometimes you need to understand that football has these moments where, and again, I've always said the biggest thing about football and a player is confidence. Now, for me, as I said, we've got an extremely experienced, we've got young, quality defenders, and it's all come down to confidence. I think, once you get yourself into a hole in football, it's very difficult to get out of it. You put yourself under so much pressure, and we all do, whether it's strikers scoring goals, missing chances. And in my opinion, like we said, we've had discussions about it, and in my opinion, it's just a lack of confidence. It's just things just don't go your way. The ball will ricochet, it'll hit somebody and bounce perfectly into a striker's feet, and you'll score. So I wouldn't say it's something we're panicking about, but it's something that we really are aware of. And at the same time, like I said, it's just us, putting it behind us and trying to get that confidence back. And I thought we had done that last week when we got our win and we kept a clean sheet. And obviously last night a slight lapse of concentration. So again, we've got to take the positives that this is a learning opportunity for some of the young guys, and just keeping that mindset of being positive and trying to dig deep when times get difficult, and there's no doubt that, things will turn around.
What about you? You're on double figures now, 10. You've got Mabasa, Ichi, as well as Ribeiro in your sights as far as goals are concerned. But when you're having the season you're having as a team, does that even matter to you? Are you still trying to, maybe get within the top numbers, get that golden boot? Are you thinking about it at all?
Look, for me, and I've always been a player of the team comes first, and I think it's SuperSport we play. It can be a difficult role. There's a lot of hard work involved from the front to the back, and for me to just help the team and help the team get points, where it matters is probably the most important. But I mean, I think any striker, you want to go into a season with the ambition of winning a top, that golden boot. I think any striker who says otherwise would be lying. So for me, I want to score as many goals as I can. First of all, to help the team and try and win that award. But I think it's come a bit late. But then again, you look at Ikram the other day scoring 5 goals in a game. Anything's possible. So I mean,
you're sitting at home going, no.
Special, but until the last day, you got to keep trying. the end of the day, you know, scoring goals is helping the team, and whatever comes after that is a bonus.
Because there's a bigger picture to that as well. Siyabonga Nomvetho, who's still the all-time leading goal scorer, is sitting on 123. You've now, I think with last night's goal, gone to 112. So you're 11 off the all-time sheet. You can't tell me that you don't think about that at least.
Oh, no, yeah, 100%. You know, I wouldn't say I count it down goal by goal, but it is something that pops up every now and then. And, you know, there's a great history in South African football, and you know, there's a lot of pride attached to that. I mean, already just joining that 100 goal, you know, it was a lot of guys I looked up to and grew up watching. So just joining them was a huge achievement. And obviously now, you know, coming down to the later years in my career, you know, that's definitely a target for me, and something I'll definitely look at going after. You know, it's just a bit frustrating. I mean, if I think I missed almost 5 seasons of football through injury, you know, it would be a very different story. But that's life, that's football, and you know, we can't go back on that.
When you say that, in my mind, I think of the seasons that you've gone double, you know, and that's the reason Peter Mosimane, when he called you up just after 2010, he called you up because you were just banging in those goals. Remember, there was a 14, there was a 16 goals, and that came with a lot of assists as well. But when you look at your Bafana tenure and how you've showed up at Bafana versus your career stats, one would have expected that you were part of that team a lot more. I want to take it down to the injuries, Brad, but at the same time, I wonder if it's just that. How do you make sense of it?
Yeah, I mean, in my international career, it's been extremely frustrating for me. You know, it was always a dream and a goal of mine to be there in the national team and you know, succeed. But unfortunately, I think, again, I don't like talking about the injuries and that, but I think probably through the peak of my career, you know, I was in and out with operations. I was out for a season, then I'd come back. You know, to get into the national teams, and it's not an easy feat. You know, so I had to work extremely hard, and then I would get back into the national team, and you know, then I'd be out again with injury. So I definitely think that played a massive role. And I don't have many regrets in football, but that's probably, you know, the one that plays on my mind the most is not having a major impact on the national team.
11 games, I think it was, and 2 goals. Not a reflection of somebody that scored over 100 goals for, you know, a team in his country playing here. So I'm with you on that 100%. When did you close that door for yourself? You know, because at some point as people, if we don't, you know, close things, they eat us forever. Have you closed that door? And if so, what was the conversations with yourself when you decided, let me put this international career behind me? Because in the answer that you just gave me, it sounds like it's a door you've closed.
Look, it's not. It's something that, you know, till the day I retired from football, I would never close that door. But I think if we're being realistic, you know, it was pre-AFCON. You know, I really had set in my mind that I wanted to try to get back into that squad. And you know, I worked hard and you know, scoring goals. I thought I was playing pretty well, but you know, that opportunity never came. And I think, you know, post that, just looking at the way forward, obviously you've got a lot of young, good players coming through. I think if I'm being realistic with myself, you know, I think personally, I think those days are gone. And that's not that I would ever stop trying, but realistically, I think, you know, that's where we are.
Jeez, it pains me to hear that.
Unfortunately.
It really pains me to hear that.
Well, look, like I said, from my side, I go out every day giving my all, and if that opportunity ever came, I'd grab it with 2 hands. But, you know, I think, like I said, realistically thinking, you know, I think that ship has sailed, in my mind.
Wow. It's not a nice place to be, Brad, and I feel for you as far as that is concerned, because, you know, one day the sport has become more statistical than ever. When people look at those stats, they're going to ask, but how come this guy never showed up as much as what we would have expected to? Not 11 games for a player that scored over 100. But let me give you some silver lining here. We had a guy, Opta Jabu, look up some really cool stats, and I don't know if you know this.
Let me stop you there. Their stuff is incredible. I mean, I've seen a lot of their stuff, and all credit to them. I think that's something new in South African, football for me, and some of the stuff they come up with is absolutely incredible.
Well, let's hear it. Let's see if you're going to be impressed by this, if you know this. But Opta Jabu says Bradley Grobler has now scored 10 league goals this season, making him the first player in PSL history to reach double figures for goals in 5 different seasons. He did it in 2010-11, 19-20, 2021, 22-23, and now 23-24. No player in the history of the PSL has ever done that.
Yeah, and again, I mean, it sounds great, but, I just look at that big gap between the first and the second set.
It is a big gap. It's about almost 10 years.
Yeah, and I think that's probably those years that let me down. So, but again, I'm grateful for where I am, what I've done, and hopefully I can add to that.
Come on, Brett. I'm giving you something good here. Come on.
I know. I'm a very positive
You're so hard on yourself.
Yeah, no, I'm not. But again, it's real. It's something that does play on your mind. But at the same time, I feel I still got time. I still got time to do a lot of things in football. So, yeah, there's lots of positives.
At 36 now, I wonder if it's still possible. But, the last 4 or 5 years, certainly there was, big conversations about could he move to this team? Could he move to that team? This team is interested. You, for the longest time, have stayed at SuperSport. Were there any real chances where you got really close to moving to perhaps, in inverted commas, one of the bigger teams? And do you think about that? Do you reflect on it and think, could have, should have, would have?
There were quite a few different opportunities that came up at the time, and it just, between either myself or the club, it just wasn't the right time, and and then there were transfer bans and things that happened.
Is this now with the move to Kaizer Chiefs?
Yeah, at that time there was talk, but yeah, like I said, it's everything came at the wrong time. And at the same time, it was always going to take something really special for me to leave. Obviously, the club's been extremely good to me for many, many years. And on top of that, as I mentioned earlier, for me, football's all about confidence and being happy. And, I went to SuperSport for many years, loving what I do.
2013, I think. January of 2013, you got there.
Yeah. And without sounding too, I don't know what's the word, but, like I said, I want to enjoy my football. I want to go to training every day, enjoy myself, being in an environment that is enjoyable. And if I can say this, staying away from politics, but I could just focus totally on my football and not what happens, behind closed doors. SuperSport was always that team for me, and it always felt like a home, and it was always going to take something extremely special for me to leave the club. So I don't regret staying. Again, beforehand we chatted about, maybe not getting as much credit as I probably should have.
Mm.
I think, that's one thing possibly with going to a so-called bigger team is you probably get more credit, more. I mean, I'll use Ikram Rain as a perfect example. I mean, I've been listening to people talking about player of the seasons and player of the season this year, and and I don't see, only now, maybe this last week, people are talking about Ikram, but until this week, nobody mentioned him, but yet the guy's had an absolutely incredible season. His team's been unbelievable. So, yeah, that's probably the one thing I do regret is you probably don't get as much credit, and not that SuperSport is a small team. In my mind,
we're being realistic here, and I do hear you. I mean, the others do carry a bit more historical weight, therefore a lot more weight as well. Are you saying that Ichi, for you, is the player of the season?
Look, I think it's probably going to be one of the more interesting decisions that we've had for a long time. for me, Ikram, it's a team that wasn't expected to challenge, and yet they're sitting nicely in second position. They've been really good in the cups, and obviously, if you take the goals he's scored with the assists that he's got, I don't think anybody comes near him. But then again, I think obviously my ex-teammates Ronwin and Tebs have been absolutely incredible, and so has my other teammate Patrick at Pirates. I think they've all been extremely, extremely good this season. But I mentioned Ikram just as, maybe not one of the bigger teams that I've got thousands of supporters, but geez, what he's done has been incredible.
The way you speak of Supersport, it makes me start to think at 36, if you could go on for another 4 years, Shoes Mashreu was still in his 40s when he played, and you're still scoring over 10 goals. So I'm not even preempting your retirement, but I'm thinking 36, you've been there since 2013, 11 years later. Is this the home that when you finally decide to hang your shirt, take the boots off, is this it? Is Supersport where you've decided it will be?
Yeah, I mean, I've always said I'd never be disappointed to finish my career at a team like Supersport. First of all, they've been extremely good to me through many difficult times. They backed me, they supported me. But at the same time, that's also that ball being their court. Obviously, this season I felt extremely good. I played pretty much every game, and I could finish games quite comfortably, and I felt good and feel that there's no need for me to think about hanging my boots up anytime soon. Obviously, I got things to chase now. That record is something I always want to I'd love to go for and hopefully pass. And yeah, they stuck by me, and just going on that, there were other teams. I think last season my contract was up at Supersport, and we were in negotiations and talking, and at the same time, my agent was looking elsewhere, and some of these other teams you mentioned said I was finished and I was done, and so yeah, Supersport stuck by me. They gave me another deal, and yeah, they've just been good to me, and really believed in me and stuck by me. So
24 games this season you have played. I mean, there's very few seasons that you've been able to, because of the injuries, of course, that you've sustained. When we're speaking about awards, another name that keeps coming up, especially with young players are concerned, is Campbell. I mean, geez, he's hit the ground running, hasn't he?
Oh, no, absolutely. I think, there's a lot of potential there. And in all fairness, it hasn't been the easiest season for us. But yet, he's been there. It's been difficult for him as well because of where we are. And sometimes maybe the more experienced players play more, being on the run that we've been on. But, when he's been given his opportunity, he's done well. But then again, I think it'd be unfair to not mention, some of the other guys. Emi Okon's been extremely good in his first season. It's been difficult, but he's put his hand up and had a good season. We got Gape Morale in the midfield who, for me, nobody's spoken about him, but, he's coming. He's done an incredible job. He has a heart of gold. He has the right attitude, and I think that's, once again, credit to Supersport, for finding these guys, building them up, and not just that, but giving them the opportunity to, showcase their talents.
Bradley, listen, I'm glad you feel good. I'm glad you feel the way you feel, because it means we get to see you for a lot more season. I'm definitely enthralled at the thought of you chasing that 123. It's not too far to go. I mean, this season alone, you've surpassed Daniel Mudau, you've surpassed Maputi Kanyeza. That on its own is a huge milestone. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. I know it's been a tough season, but the way you guys have soldiered up and made worse by, the coach's personal life as well with what's happened at home. And, we wish all of you guys all of the best. But before I let you go, Bradley Krobler, Opta Jabu says, always scoring important goals. 48 is the number. Do you know what the number is?
No.
You've scored the opening goal in 48 league games which is the 4th highest in PSL history. Only Siyabonga Nomvete, Collins Bissouma, and Kenyez are above you. And 2 more of those, you're above Collins and Mabuti with just Siyabonga to chase. So there's a lot more record to chase out there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like I said,
no, I'm not going to let you say it.
No, the stats are incredible. I mean, I saw another day about scoring against the most teams in the PSL, and stuff they come up with is just, it's really good, a good read. And I could only advise anybody that doesn't, follow them on Twitter or whatever. There's some really good stuff on there. I really enjoy it.
I appreciate you, and thank you for coming on. Let this be the first of many, Brad. I can't wait to see you in the stadium.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. And yeah, anytime I'm here, I'm available to chat, so I won't be scared.
I appreciate it. Bradley Krobler there, SuperSport United striker, 10 goals this season. He's just off of what Mabasa, Ribeiro, as well as Ichirenes, who leads the front.
At work, at play, online, and on the air. Check us out at Metro FM SA on all the socials. Metro FM, it's where you want to be. Sports Night Amplified with Andile on Metro FM.
Good evening, Ma. So now, are we going to pretend as if Man United didn't play yesterday? Or you just remind us?
Elise, well, he was given so much room to shoot. Then Crystal Palace draw first blood at Selhurst Park. And they might have another one here because Mateta's peeling forward. It's Mateta. It's 2. And just when it looked like Manchester United were trying to find their feet, it's thumped home by the Crystal Palace frontman.
Andile ulipara boss. Hey, IQ team yako pra. IQ 4-0.
It's a night to forget for Manchester United. Crystal Palace are running away with this now.
6 to 7 p.m.
Get the card that gives you more. Open a Mr. Price Money account and get 200 Rand off your first shop on account over 1,000 Rand. Plus, automatically join Insiders, our rewards program. Earn free data every time you shop all 6 of the Mr. Price Group brands on account. What are you waiting for? Apply now in-store or online at mrpricemoney.com. Offer ends 7 July 2024. Mr. Price Money is an authorized FSP and credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Hollywood Bets is offering you Flights of Fortune this May. Stand a chance to win your share of 1 million Rand worth of bonus bets by betting 10 Rand or more on Aviator. Enter the chat daily between 7 and 9 p.m. for a chance to reap those rewards. Bet now.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Embrace the future today with Cell C's latest Huawei deals. Get the new Huawei Nova 12 SE for only 479 Rand per month on a 36-month Elevate 2 contract. And add a Huawei Watch GT4 for 130 Rand extra per month. Go in store or call 084 145. Valid until 14 May. Switch to Cell C today. Now on SA's most reliable network. T's and C's apply. Cell C. Change your world.
Don't touch that dial. It's now a different playing field. Metro FM. It's where you want to be.
All right, here we go.
Call Metro FM now on 0860 00 2160. Drop us a voice note on 060 552 7303.
Waking up, I'm too turned up.
Great conversation with Bradley Krobler there of SuperSport United. 086 00 02160. Over to you now. Whatever conversation you want to have, like I said, it's Wednesday today. The last 2 days we haven't had enough time to take enough calls. Every now and then we make sure that we come out of conversations early so you can reflect on the many conversations we've had here. WhatsApp on 060 552 7303. Also, Kaizer Chiefs were in action last night and they drew their match, right? 2-2 was the final score, which means as things stand now, they're sitting in 8th position with 34 points. But just under them, they have Polokwane City on 33, Chippa United on 32, Lamontville Golden Arrows on 32 as well. AmaZulu on 31. Let's take AmaZulu aside for a couple of seconds because they're playing Stellenbosch. If they win that, they sit on 34. Polokwane City playing Richards Bay. If they win that, above Kaizer Chiefs. Chippa, if they're able to beat Pirates, above Kaizer Chiefs. so as golden arrows. So they could go really, really low. I wonder, are you then starting to think, with 27 games played, are you starting to think about the top 8 as a Kaizer Chiefs fan? We're going to let it go down to that last game, the last 2 games. You're happy to say no. That's when you'll be able to crawl out of this in the last 2 games. Because as it stands now, we could see it as low as 12, 13 even, as it stands now. Let's go to your voice notes.
Drop us a voice note on 060-552-7303.
Waking up, I'm too turned up.
Awe andile usibongisene eCape Town. Andile hayi oreferee bethu sawukhala oko. Hayi ngathi valwe nalesi season hayi. Dibone imatch yezolo yeChiefs. Dibone imatch yezolo yeChiefs. Hayi. Ukhathi ibhola ibethe ehlanzeni kuDove. Unika yellow card. Antoni yellow card because bingeyo foul mosle. Why izawunika yellow card? Ayo referee bethu hayi. Hayi mayivalwe le season. Hayi seyonakele already. Tango Andile.
Andile, loving the show. But I have a question here. The Nedbank Cup is on the 1st
of
June. And Bafana is playing Nigeria in Nigeria on the 3rd of June. So my question is, how is that gonna work? Because I'm sure the nature boy will be complaining. I don't even know how we're gonna win that match because the players will be tired and most of the squad comes from Sundowns and Pirates players, and they'll be playing a high intensity game on the 1st.
Well, let's have that conversation on Friday. It's a good one. Let's put it to the guys on Podcast Friday because that's a good conversation. Also, man, isn't the Bafana? No, man, Timmy, double check that. I don't think it's a 3rd. It can't be the 3rd. I'll look it up for you now. I don't think it's the 3rd.
I think we saw PSG as the favorites to go to the final, and like Dortmund proved us wrong. You see, and I think even today we see Real Madrid as the favorites, but I think Bayern will prove us wrong. Bayern is the underdog. I think Bayern is going through today. Bayern is going through. Kevin De Bruyne, Soshanguve.
I think Chiefs must rehire Tolesa and assistants be Tine Dladla. I think Chiefs started the problem with the Steve Compeller. Steve Compeller brought the bad luck at Chiefs. From Steve Compeller to today, Chiefs has a problem. I think Chiefs must not waste the time. Go and look for the coach or hire Tolesa. You must go to Europe and look for coach. Right now, you must not waste any time. Thank you, Tawe Job.
No, to correct you there. The game, there was a statement sent out by Safa yesterday. The game has moved to the 7th. Yeah, because I thought to myself, it's not the 3rd. It can't be. There was a statement that was set out yesterday by the South African Football Association. The game has moved to the 7th. So there is time between that. No, Steve Compeller cannot be who brought bad luck. Because Steve Compeller left to go to Sundowns, and what did he do there? Come on now. Respect Steve.
Hey, Mr. Andile. This everything, it's becoming worse and worse and worse. And it's worse for us as the Kaizer Chiefs supporters or Kaizer Chiefs team. It's worse, my brother. It's boring, actually. Anyway, let it be. We are hoping for a better season next year. All the best, Mama Kosi. Don't worry. Better things will come. Better things will come next year. Thank you, Jeff Inimambrod.
Evening, Ma. This is Trina from Ekuruleni. No, great show, man.
Hey.
No, I'd like to appreciate Bradley Krober for his effort throughout the season after season. And I'm wishing Mapagania all the best. Dango.
Hello, Ma. Lapo. Ay, mina ngiyakhala mina ngalesa stadium sase Stellenbosch, Eden Craven. Hayi, angasangena kanjani ku PSL lesa stadium hayi. awumangali nje wabona abantu begcwele stadium makuphela ibhola leSundowns nelokunjani ne-Stellenbosch. Hayi lesiya stadium hayi. Nama ungena amagame amakhulu njenge-Nedbank kuthiwa amatiketi aphelile. Accommodate 12,000 people. No. Hayi lesiya stadium akumelanga siqualify ukudlala amagame e-PSL.
Okay.
I
didn't hear the complaints when Bidvest Wits were playing at Bidvest Stadium. And also, they've got a niche following. They've got a small stadium. You know, they accommodate their people who don't come only when it's big games. I think it would be very unfair to say no when it's big games move. Whereas the people that support them week in, week out go to that stadium. Have a thought about that. Let's go to Sia. Sia's out in Cape Town, wants to speak about Kaizer Chiefs. Sia.
Yeah, good, man. Great show.
No, thank you very much.
I think what is happening at Kaizer Chiefs is not good for not just for Kaizer Chiefs but for South African football. Kaizer Chiefs is a big brand that is
100%.
Not just in South Africa. So what is happening to see them struggling for the top 8 is actually bad. So I think that team is the whole overhaul of the management. They need to stop running it as a family team, as a family business. So, and also we've seen Orlando Pirates and other teams giving the young stars opportunity to play. Kaizer Chiefs, they have players coming from the academy, the likes of Abu Zwane, Gofilakas, everyone. So they have nothing to lose at this moment. Why not give them a chance to see? Maybe they're preparing for next season. But
you know what the thing is here? To be an experimental coach that puts their neck on the line at a team the size of Kaizer Chiefs must be the most overwhelming and the scariest thought ever. Imagine you're at Kaizer Chiefs and you're being asked to experiment at a team where the fans want results every day with every game. Or you as a fan going to understand that, hey, I'm experimenting right now, I'm playing youngsters, so if we lose 5 in a row, understand.
Yeah, and also Kaizer Chiefs fans, they are not patient. Very true. But I still think they should go for Nabi, Coach Nabi.
Coach Nabi is happy from what we hear where he is. I mean, we were having conversations with him, and he's very happy where he is. And also, with the changes that have been made, remember, modern coaches, European coaches in particular, like to travel with their entire team.
Their whole technical team, yes.
We've seen it here with Pito. How many people does Pito travel with?
Oh, yes, 6.
Can South African teams accommodate such? You remember when we wanted Hervé Renard to come to Bafana Bafana? You know,
correct.
So those are conversations that we need to keep top of mind as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree, but it's
I appreciate it, Otam. Thank you very much. Let's go to David. David is out in Guruleni. David.
Good evening. Thank you for taking my call.
Hey.
I have to say this with pain at heart. I believe with the Kaizer Chiefs, somebody is trying to do what you call guerrilla marketing by stealing Kaizer Chiefs supporters who are disgruntled through manipulation of games. Some of these mistakes that are happening on the referee side, I believe there is a team. You know what happened?
No. Let's do this, David, because you know we're frank people here, né? And I don't want people to come here with rumors. Tell me what you know. Say who you know. Say this person has done this, so that we're not speaking in abyss. So talk to me. What's happening?
Let me talk freely like a sangoma. I want to tell you something from my heart. I believe Sundown is going to get more supporters from Chiefs who are crossing the camp, like what happened to this lady who joined the Royal AM. Since that trend, this marketing, you know, the main earner in the PSL, it's the Royal Chiefs that come through the supporters at the ground, the stadium. I believe Sundown, there is somebody using dirty tricks. Because if you check what is happening currently is most of the mistakes of the referees, they are...
So, David, let me understand this. You think that Sundowns are colluding with the referees to steal Kaizer Chiefs fans?
Yes, that is... it's a marketing strategy to steal... Chiefs has got supporters, people. If you go to as far as Central Africa, Chiefs has got a very huge following. And the more the people get disgruntled, the more who is at the top it's Sundowns.
David, you know you and I don't always agree on stuff, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay, we don't agree on stuff today again. We don't agree on stuff today again, but I appreciate you always.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah, whether I like your comment or not, you come on and you have the right to say it. Of all conspiracy theories, that one, I know. Hey!
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Is that a stripizan?
No. This is just a skirt and a top.
So
just a normal skirt
what would it
normal
take
top.
for it to be a stripizan?
A little bit shorter than this. It's just about, what, 4 fingers above the legs is exactly what they used to prescribe to me when I was in high school.
This is more than 4 fingers.
That is not more than 4 fingers.
Have you seen my fingers? That is definitely more than 4 fingers.
Have you seen my fingers? My fingers, that is definitely 4 fingers. There's a big difference. We will agree to disagree when it comes to this
You're
one.
quick to dismiss this one, don't you?
No, I'm just very attuned to women's fashion, that's all.
Okay, I'm not, so I will keep quiet. Have a good day.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. Doesn't matter how a man dresses. I've seen these reality shows, these find a date shows, and a man or a woman would come out, and the guy or girl who's choosing would dismiss them based on what they're wearing.
I mean,
does it matter to you when you see somebody for the first time what they're wearing?
Yes. I'm not asking you to wear, like, don't have like labels head to toe, because I view that in a different way. But yeah, look good, man. Look good, smell good. Because I think that also elevates the level of confidence. It's the best foot forward. So if I arrived and I was not looking good and I was looking shabby, men are visual, right? So as women are visual. I want to be able to imagine you in all sorts of ways and all sorts of dimensions. And if you do not dress the part, and if you do not put your best foot forward, how am I going to... Let me lust after you for a little bit. Let me go,
agree
ooh.
that initial attraction is based on the physical.
Yeah,
before
absolutely.
it sap you.
Yeah. I don't meet you and fall in love with your personality.
No, for sure.
I meet you and fall in love with your muscles.
But once I speak to you and all of that, clothes are things we can change. The fact that you're wearing dirty, like those shoes, All-Star, and I don't like it, even with the woman.
They evolve.
Those are things that as time goes, I can be like, baby, hey, I bought this shirt, it looks nice.
Yeah.
And I can evolve your style, and we've seen it happen.
But then put your best foot forward so that you know what you're working with.
This is my best foot. I'm fashion challenged. It's not my thing. I'm great at cooking at home.
Okay.
But I don't know how to put my colors together.
But are you attractive and are you clean? And do you smell
They're
good?
clean. They just don't match.
Do you smell good? Because
like
that's very important.
I'd like
Hygiene is a fundamental.
No, I smell soap good, but I'm not sure if I smell perfume good because to me this perfume smells good.
So basically, how can I clean? I'm gonna
is that
scrub
too much
you.
to ask for?
You know what? It's funny that you should say that. Is it too much? Let me think about me. Is it too much for me? Probably not.
Perfect.
No. I don't want you, because who the heck made you perfect if not me? So tell you what, if for me, I love the idea of influencing you and molding you into what, and there's a big difference between molding your character and trying to influence your personality, your character, your intent. Because then I'm Bob the Builder and I'm not trying to be a construction worker on a man. However, if it comes to being able to evolve and us evolving in style, then we get to evolve together. That I can do. But if we are focused on developing your personality, your characteristics, your issues, then no, I'm not interested in that. Yeah, I'm not in the business of construction, but I can be in the business of evolution, of enhancing what you already have, so that when we look good together, we feel good as a couple, and it spices up what we do behind closed doors.
Me and you, who would evolve who?
Between me and you?
Yeah. Who's evolving who?
I think that we've got a good fashion sense. I think that you've got a better grasp of labels. I don't, right? I love wearing, like, I'm sporty sometimes, and sometimes I'm, but I've got a very corporate wear. You've got a very chilled wear. You'll be able to influence my chilled wear. I'll be able to influence your corporate wear, and baby, let me upgrade you. I gotta go now.
Faith,
Please make
what are
me
we doing?
ask questions. Okay. This evening, we're in conversation with the African Christian Democracy Party, that is the ACDP. Reverend Kenneth Mishwe is in the studio this evening. We're talking about the roads to the elections, obviously, and as we know that ACDP, they've also highlighted in their manifesto why exactly that should South Africans vote for them. We're going to be hearing from them in just a while. And then we're also going to be joined by the author of The Journey of the Soweto Entrepreneur since 1905. Dr. Tamima Zwai is in the studio as well with us this evening. We're going to be looking at township entrepreneurship as well as the opportunities that are available. I love, men, this one is for you after 8 o'clock, especially because I think that we are starting to see an increasing number of people that are committing suicide. And I remember the last one happened last week or so. The recent one happened last week when somebody tweeted, you know, the money pressures that I'm under, there's no point anymore, something like that, to the form of that, and the person unfortunately ended up committing suicide. So this evening we're interrogating the notion of money pressure, men and masculinity. Money pressure, men and masculinity, the impact on money pressure on men. And there we go. So we're going to be talking a little bit about money pressure, men and masculinity, and how that impacts, so that we can be, you know, formulate comfortable and safe spaces so that we can discuss the most vulnerable aspects of ourselves. Thank you very much. She's in between 7 and 9 o'clock when we then begin to give you a little bit of talk and a little bit of music with Paul just after Faith. I'm out of here. Sport at 10 this evening, 10 o'clock, SABC 1. Let's have some fun with the winners from the Sports Awards last weekend. Got to get out of here. Tomorrow again, it's a Throwback Thursday, your favorite show of the week. Pella Pella. That's all me.
We stay connected no matter where you are or where we are. Ooh, yeah.